What's going on, guys? Code from CoSports.com here with you today. Before we get started, I will say we are having some issues with the mobile camera today. So we're on the Mac. So I do promise you that the information and quality of the information that I share with you will be much better quality than the video today. So we are here with our first NFL wildcard betting preview between the Raiders and Bengals. So real quick, before we get into it, I will say that I have made a lot of money betting on the NFL playoffs over the years, and I'm no magician when it comes to it. I just do a lot of research, and you guys will see that with some of the information that I'm about to share with you guys. I will also say that none of these picks are officially part of our VIP picks package. Those picks will be available on Saturday, but I won't guarantee that some of this information shared with you today won't be used for those picks on Saturday. So, in this video today, we are going to take a look at how both these teams got here. We're going to look back at their regular season matchup, and then we're going to look at some of the stats and trends as far as the spread, the over-under, and then get into some of the player props. So, how did they get here? The Raiders were sitting at 6-7 a month ago before they reeled off 4 straight wins, where their season really came down to their final game of the season against the Chargers on Sunday night, where they could have got in with a tie, and they almost did. Came down to 2 seconds before they kicked a game-winning field goal to get in. Now, it should be noted that those 4 straight wins that they reeled off all came against non-playoff teams. The Bengals, on the other hand, clinched the AFC North 2 weeks ago with a dramatic 34-31 win over a very good Chiefs team. Then they were able to basically take last week off to rest up for this week in what will be the first playoff game in Cincinnati since the 2015-2016 season where the Bengals lost to the Steelers. So let's take a look back at the regular season matchup between these two teams. The Bengals won 32-13, and most bettors will see that and automatically jump out and say, boom, Bengals blew them out in the regular season. They're going to blow them out again this weekend. But I would say not so fast. If you take a closer look at that game or you watch that game, this game was 16-13 into the fourth quarter before the Bengals went on a late scoring spree to run away with it. So it does look like a blowout, but this game was very close into the fourth quarter, and I wouldn't just write this off as the blowout of the weekend like some people are doing. The spread is currently set at 4.5. We are here on Thursday afternoon, so still a few days, and it could move a little bit more. It did open at 5.5 for the Bengals. It's down to 4.5. And looking at how these teams performed against the spread this season, the Bengals went 10-7 against the spread, and the Raiders went 8-9 against the spread. So the books typically give 3 points for home field advantage, so they're really valuing the Bengals as 1.5-point favorites on a neutral field against this Raiders team. So I'm not sure if I'll be targeting this one yet, but those are the numbers for the spread. As for the over-under, this one I will certainly not be targeting. I feel like it could go either way, but the regular season matchup finished at 45 total points. The over-under is set at 49 this weekend. And it should be noted, which I called out earlier, it was a pretty low-scoring game until the Bengals went on that scoring spree in the fourth quarter in the regular season matchup, where there were only 29 points scored in this game with 5.5 minutes left. So I don't know what way I would go. The Bengals have gone over or pushed at 49 in 5 of their last 6 competitive games, so we're not counting the last game of the regular season where Joe Burrow didn't play and most of the starters played a couple series before they came out. And on the flip side, the Raiders went under 49 in 4 of their 7 games, 4 of their 7 final games, with 2 of those games that did go over requiring overtime. But also factoring into that is the fact that those last 4 games of the season came against non-playoff teams. So it does make sense that they were able to play some good defense against lower level teams with those point totals going under. So I won't be playing this one either way. It does seem like a coin flip. But let's get into some of the player props. I know player props are continually on the rise with same-game parlays and different player prop bets with tons of betting options these days. But we're going to take a look at some of the basic stats and lines for this week. So starting with the passing props, Joe Burrow's number is set at 262.5. And I will call out one thing that caught my eye is that Joe Burrow had his lowest passing yard total of the season against the Raiders in the regular season, where he was held to 148 yards. Down the stretch, though, he was absolutely on fire. With his final 2 games of the regular season, he threw for 971 yards. He did go over 262.5 passing yards in 4 of his last 5 games, and he did average 288 passing yards per game this season. If I had to bet this one, I would be taking the over. Derek Carr on the other side, you probably wouldn't guess this, but he finished ranked 5th in the league in passing yards this season with 4,804. He averaged 282.5 passing yards per game this season. But when he faced off against this Bengals defense earlier this season, he was held to 215 passing yards. But if this game plays out like most experts are saying it will, with the Bengals being ahead, that makes me think that Carr will be playing from behind, so he should be passing the ball more. There probably is some value on the over on this number. Getting into the rushing yard props, Joe Mixon is set at 74.5, and boy, did he have himself a day against the Raiders earlier this season. He ran for 123 yards on 30 carries and scored 2 touchdowns in that game. Mixon finished the season ranked 3rd in rushing yards, but he did go under this number, 74.5, in 11 of his 16 games this season. So there's an under trend there overall against different opponents. I get it, but you do take a look at the head-to-head matchup, and he did have the 123 yards, which surpasses the 74.5 by a ton. So you might want to take a look at that one. On to the Raiders side, Josh Jacobs' number is set at 60.5. He's coming off of a 132-yard game on Sunday against the Chargers, where he played a huge part in the Raiders getting into the playoffs. He has gone over this number in 3 straight games, where he has topped the 100-yard mark in 2 of those 3 games. Jacobs was held to 37 yards on 9 carries against this Bengals defense in the regular season, and this Bengals defense ranked 5th in the league against the run, holding opponents to 102.5 rushing yards per game. On to receiving props. When you think receiving props and you look at this game, there's one that comes to mind, and it is Ja'Marr Chase. What a stretch this guy has had. His final 2 games of the season with Burrow playing, he had 125 yards in 1 game and then 266 yards with 3 touchdowns in that 34-31 win against the Chiefs. So he has been on an absolute tear. He was held to 32 yards on 3 receptions against the Raiders in the regular season, and he did go under this number. He went 8-9 against this number in the regular season. So slight under trend there, but I do like his boom capability. You love to see that when you're betting on player props, a guy who can literally cover the number on one play, just like he did against the Chiefs a couple weeks ago with a 72-yard reception. So I'd be targeting the over on this total this weekend. On to the Raiders. Hunter Renfro's line is set at 54.5. He did go 10-8 against this number this season, but he was held to 30 yards against the Bengals in the regular season. But kind of my mindset on this one is I think he's going to have to be involved in this game plan for the Raiders to really keep pace with what this Bengals offense has shown that they can do this season. So depending on how that Raiders defense, if they come to play, could be different, but I do think there could be some value on Renfro's over. Now, getting into anytime touchdown scorer props. First one that comes to mind, Joe Mixon. He had 2 in the regular season, and the odds makers are showing that with the odds. He is the most favorited player to get in the end zone this week at -155. Ja'Marr Chase is intriguing. He's, like I said, he's got that boom potential. He is listed at even money right now, so you might want to jump on that one before we get closer to game time, because I would expect that to drop to like -125, -130 by Saturday. Couple interesting long shots or better value plus money odds that I have here. Tyler Boyd is currently listed at +165, and he did score in his final 3 games of the season And an interesting one with a storyline, Darren Waller listed at plus 180. Little storyline behind it. He has missed 5 games due to injuries and COVID, and he's been publicly battling alcohol addiction this year. So the guy is a beast. He's going to be motivated. He's back in the lineup. So I think Carr will be looking his way, especially in the red zone. So plus 180 for him to get in looks like pretty good value. But that's it for this game between the Raiders and Bengals. You can check out our VIP picks. They will be posted at cosports.com on Saturday. This video will also be posted in article form on cosports.com, so you can check back in. If you don't want to watch the whole video again, you can get over to cosports.com and see all this in text and article form. If you guys are looking for some free money, that's right, I'm here to give out free money. If you are in a legal sports betting state, DM me on Twitter or Instagram at KOF Sports, or email kof@kofsports.com and say, hey, Kof, hook me up with that free money. I can get you up to $250 or $1,000 in states with legal sports betting. So hit me up if you want to get in on that. And also, if you guys have any other bets or props that you guys are looking at or want me to break down for you or give you some stats, send me a DM. I'm always here to help you guys out. I'm very passionate and take pride in all the work that I do. So if you say, hey, what do you think about this player prop this weekend? I'm thinking this. I'll go back, I'll take a look, I'll run the numbers for you, I'll break it down and say, hey, here you go. I'm here to help. But like I said at the top of the video, CoSports, 60% plus in 6 straight NFL seasons, and we usually thrive in the playoffs. Our wild card weekend picks hit at 67% last year, so looking to have another big weekend this weekend. VIP picks will not be posted until Saturday, but you can reserve the card now, or you can get your weekly membership over at cosports.com for as little as $25. So thank you for watching. Next up will be the preview between the Patriots and Bills. We'll kind of do the same thing, look at how the teams got there, look at the spread, look at the over-under, and look at some of the player props for that game. So if you liked the video, please hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next video up, which will be posted later today or tomorrow. Patriots at Bills should be a good one Saturday night.